What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another random horror review. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, episode 70 is here, and I've got one here from Mexico. It's a film that I heard a little bit of buzz about, and I couldn't wait to check it out because of all the comparisons to certain films and things like that. And when I hear those certain comparisons, it does intrigue me because I'm always curious about what it's going to actually deliver. This film right here is from 2015 production, just came out from Unearthed Films here in 2016, and it is called Atroz. What that translated into is atrocious in English. I love the cover here where it says Ruggero Deodato, director of Cannibal Holocaust, presents. He was just an associate producer on here, so obviously the biggest producer on here got his name on the cover. Not even an executive producer, but actually the director was highly influenced by films like August Underground and like Cannibal Holocaust and things like that to make this movie, so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into with that. Basically what the premise of this film is, at the beginning of the film, it showcases these two guys that have just recently ran over this girl. They were shit-faced, they fucking killed her on the road with their car. They get arrested and stuff. This detective shows up to the crime scene and he starts kind of digging through the car and he comes across this video camera and he starts to play the tape where it goes into found footage and stuff, and then he sees on the tape that these guys were viciously murdering people and things like that, so they get taken into custody. Now they're in jail, and the rest of the film plays out through a series of tapes that they've found, and yeah, that's pretty much the premise of the film right there. Now, my thoughts on this one: this is a really, really nasty, grimy, vicious, gory, bloody film, is what I'm going to say. Now, this, like I said before, this is a Spanish film. It's from Mexico, and I really do like the way they filmed this because it showcases a really dirty and vicious side of Mexico, which I believe that the director was actually trying to do that, trying to show like the nasty, dirty side of Mexico. But did a really good job actually because they showcased a lot of scenes like in the streets, picking up hookers, and just vicious and just the gritty, nasty side of Mexico, which I thought was captured very well in this film. Now, the way the film plays out is actually quite interesting because it's not like your typical torture porn, kind of found footage film. It actually does have a pretty interesting story to it. Basically, the film plays out through three different type of tapes. There's one tape where it shows these two killers, they're killing off this person and things like that. Then there's another tape where it showcases them, the killer, like a different side of him, but he's still a really mean and vicious, diabolical killer. And then the third tape in this film, it kind of showcases him as a child, and it gives you a little bit of background into why he's like this and stuff, which I thought was really interesting how they did this, and it kind of gives you this insight, and I gotta say, all three tapes are just vicious, brutal, nasty gore. If you're a fan of films like August Underground, and this one actually honestly kind of reminded me, the first tape, there's this nasty scene with some shit and stuff in there, and it instantly reminded me of Crazy Murder from last year, too. That was another film that was filmed with nasty shit, like literally shit. So this one was making me gag. It made me gag a few times. It made me cringe a bunch of times, too. The gore is really fantastic in this, too. It looks really good. There's a really nasty broken leg in this. It's just really cool stuff, which is actually a feature here that showcases how they did the practical effects and stuff. But yeah, this film right here, pretty interesting, man. It shows so many different sides of the killer, and I think that's really interesting. Now, the film plays out pretty quick. It's about an 80-minute film. There's really not a lot of downtime in this. It's just kind of tape to tape, and it kind of cuts back and forth to the police investigation, which generally generally I don't like when things kind of cut back and forth, but for this film it does actually work because they have been apprehended, they are in jail and things like that, and so now they're being kind of interrogated, and they're trying to these police are trying to get this guy to admit to these crimes and things like that. I do like that aspect. Very, very interesting. Now, the end of the film is kind of, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about the end of the film. Now, there's a couple twists and turns in the end, which I think one of them worked pretty well. I think the other one kind of fell about 30 yards for me. I think it's so far-fetched that it could possibly work, but in the long run, I think it's just too far-fetched to actually work. But it's still an interesting idea. I will give them that for sure. But my final thoughts on this one: if you like nasty, gritty, gory, just vicious films, man, like August Underground, shit like that, you'll probably really dig this one. I have to say the acting was really good. Another really interesting aspect of this film is the music, which is really cool because this edition comes with the soundtrack. The music is really fantastic. The sound design is really good in this film. It sounds exploding. It sounds really good. Because generally when you see with these type found footage, low budget found footage films, the sound generally isn't the greatest and stuff. I think they did a really good job with the sound design, which really it just kind of accentuates the film a lot when you're watching it. It's really crazy, actually. But yeah, not really a whole lot more to say about this one. It's really nasty. Like I said, it made me gag a couple times, which is always a plus. Just thinking about the scene right now is making me gag. But I enjoyed it, though. I thought it was really good. It's definitely not for everybody. Like I said, if you're a fan of the August Underground films, these type of torture porn, you'll probably like these. I hate using the word torture porn. I actually hate that term. But a lot of people associate these type of films with that term, so I'm saying it. But you probably will like it. It's vicious. It's really, really vicious and dirty, and it made me feel nasty. I actually took a shower before I reviewed this film. So, yeah, big props, man. I thought this was really good. It was actually quite a big surprise on how technically well it was done. I think it was shot so good for like a low budget film like this. With found footage films, there's always the question of, okay, how did they why is this being shot, or these certain angles and things like that. I've mentioned this many times in found footage films. So I was like, okay, who the hell's holding the camera in this and who's in that and stuff. There's not really a whole lot of technical problems with this, but there is some really good shots, and it's not like the most vicious and kind of like unsteady cam and stuff. It's pretty well done, I have to say. So anyways, I'm just ranting. I'm just going on and on, but atrocious. I would have to give this film probably about an 8 out of 10. It was really well done for what it is. And like I said, not for everybody, but if it's for you, you like what you hear, check it out. It's really good. Probably going to pop in the soundtrack right now, roll around and clear my mind because I feel like puking now after watching this film. So, but anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'll check you guys later. And as usual, peace!